Hey, good afternoon. It is still August 6th in the afternoon. Excuse me. I am Rob, that developer dad, and we are continuing on our NPC generator app. This morning I got a drop down list with the species that are available for us to choose from added to the new Create NPC screen. And this afternoon, we're going to take that selection and apply it to the request to generate our new NPC. Let me flip over to a screen share here, and we'll go to create-npc, create-npc. Oh, jeepers. I forgot the slash create dash NPC. Here we go. We've got random. We've got halfling. And if I hit generate, I've got a breakpoint back here. I can look at the selected NPC options on the actual page model and see that species halfling is there. Background is null, vocation is null. So let's get these things into play here. So what we want to do is, well, first I want to look at the other options, and I don't want to make this modification in the button click event handler. I want to go directly to the generate NPC method itself. And you see here that we're guarding that the services exist, and then we're calling generate random NPC. Now, right now, generate random NPC doesn't take in any parameters. It just calls it straight up. And if we look at our character worker, go to the definition on generate NPC here, we have two versions on it. We've got one that doesn't have any parameters, and that's the one we're using right now. The other one takes in a dictionary of string and nullable string called selected attributes. So let's take a look at what the actual what the implementation of that method does. And then we pass in the selected attributes. So I want to go all the way into generate townsperson. So we'll go to implementation here. And so anywhere where the selected attribute is not null, we're going to choose it. And then load that template and apply it. And that seems to be the case throughout the stack. So out in the page model, we want to create a new dictionary. Yeah. And I'm going to call dictionary of, no. What we're going to do is any selected options with an empty string for the value must be set null. So for each string option key in selected options dot keys string value option value equals selected NPC options, option key. If option value is not equal to null and option value is not equal to string.empty, no, wait, equals string.empty, selected NPC options, option key equals null. There we go. So what we're doing here is if the value in this dictionary is an empty string, we want to turn that into null for when we pass it to the generate random NPC. Now, on the NPC services, we need to alter the signature on this guy to accept a dictionary of string and nullable string. And we're going to make this nullable. And we're going to set a default value on that so that it's only going to respect this parameter if it's null. Generate NPC becomes a townsperson. So townsperson NPC and if selected options is not equal to null. No. Equals null. We're going to do that. We're just going to call it without the parameter. But if it doesn't equal null, we are going to say NPC equals character worker dot generate NPC with our selected options. Let's save this and run it. I'm going to drop a breakpoint right here. And I'm going to come out to my page model. And I'm going to pass the selected NPC options. Save that. And let's put a breakpoint here too. And run it. Because I want to see what's what when we go through this stuff. And I'm going to test it a couple of different ways. Yeah, go away, restore pages. / create NPC dash NPC. All right, and whatever, continue, selected options is that. We've received the selected attributes. And we get an index out of range. Okay. Excuse me. So I'm going to come out to the page model. And let me think. We're going to declare NPC client model. Okay. If selected NPC options dot any. So we're only going to do this cleansing if there's anything in that selected NPC options collection. And we're going to say model equals let's grab this, that, else model equals NPC services dot generate random NPC. And then we can get rid of this. Okay. Let's try this. Create, click, selected options is null. Go. All right. And let's make a dragonborn. Generate. Get rid of that and we'll continue. Selected NPC options has a count of 3, but only one of them has a value. So let's hop in here. Add our selected attributes. We're still good there, and we're in the character workloads. And we should have, good, we've got a dragonborn. So let's carry on. All right. Has shiny silver scales. She's a wood carver. Grew up as a noble. Neat. So good. Excuse me. That worked well. Let's bring in the other options. So we're going to come to here. We're already doing species over here. So we'll add a new property. It's going to be a string, a nullable string, and it will be background. And we do need to expand these out because we're basically just doing a dictionary assignment and lookup. and return selected options, background, or string.empty. And then down here, we're going to say selected options, background, equals value. Good. And then for profession, or is it vocation? How is that handled over in the townsfolk generator? Let's go to the implementation. Townsfolk.species, townsperson.vocation is what I need to use there. And then townsperson.background. So it's vocation over here. Public string, vocation, get, return, selected options, vocation, string.empty, and in the set, selected options, vocation. I really don't like these magic strings. Equals value. I feel like I need to do this thing here. Name of townsperson dot species, because that's how I'm doing everything else. I'm keying all of these things off of those property names. And that's a lot less bad than using magic strings, but it's still not great. I just haven't thought up a nice, elegant way of doing this differently. Location. And public string. Nope. Bool is retired. I don't know how I want to handle is retired yet, so I'm not gonna add that yet. Okay, good. Select NPC options. We now need to add these things. And I want to do species. No. Label. Species. Label. Background. And I'm going to copy this. Change this to @background. Yeah, we'll just do it this way. Not in love with it, but and label profession, paste at vocation, rename that to vocation, save everything, run it. Come into that. Just let her rip. Let it go. All right. Species random, background random, profession random. I want a gnome. Leave the background random. They're a tinker. Generate. And we have a gnome who is a tinker who started life as a hermit. All right. So let's try. They started off as a sage, but now who knows what they are? They're a retired shopkeeper. Cook, brewer. Cool. How does this look when we go mobile? Hideous. Absolutely hideous. All right. Let's fix some things up here. I'm going to close this first because I want to go out to the main layout and get rid of that darn about link because we don't need to be messing with that. Top row PX4. What are you talking about? Blank about. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Goodbye. That can go away. And we'll just tidy all of this up. Save that. Now, if we go into the nav menu, right here, nav bar brand, I want to get rid of GameTools.Blazor client and change this to Game Master Game Runner Helper. There we go. Game Runner Helper. I don't know if that's the final brand name, but I wanted to get something other than GameTools.Blazor client up there. I like that. Oh, one more thing I want to do. Is I'm going to grab this. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. And navlink is not NPC's new. It's create-NPC. Let's do that. Add that in so I can stop having to type the darn URL for this thing. Let's make sure it works. Look at that. Shopkeeper. What's the shopkeeper look like? Well, it's a female human. They're retired. I got to do something about that. And that's still awful. That is absolutely awful. So let's find our select NPCs options. Here we go. We got to add some styling on these. And do we need to add some directions? Yeah, I think we ought to. Select the options you want, or leave them to chance. And click generate. Now, div class equals row. And when we are mobile, we want all of these to be on their own lines. But when we're on desktop, we want them to be squish. So I'm going to cut this, paste it all in here. All right. Now, each one of these guys div class equals call. Do we have excess? 12. Let's start with this. Start simple and then get complicated. Call access 12. Cut that. Paste it here. Bump them in. And I do want to add a little bit of visual space just to separate these elements out in the code. Div class equals call access 12. X V boom FS save it all. And now we're just going to be messing around with CSS and stuff like that and classes and visuals. So we could probably leave this running while we do it. We're going to find out. Let's go to NPC new. It's a little better. Elf. Okay. Unterrible. Unterrible. I don't know that I like that selected attributes thing, but okay. Profession, cobbler, generate. Okay. So let's get this tidied up a little bit more because it's still stacked here, and that's not what I want. So let's try this. I feel like, what version of Bootstrap are we rocking here? Bootstrap 5.1. Okay. Let's take a look at getbootstrap.com. And we want to look at 5.1. And customize layout forms. Let's get an overview on the form styling. Form control. Select, default select elements of custom initial appearance. Ranges, all of this stuff. Floating labels that float over your input fields. I don't want all that. Okay, rebooted form styles of classes. I think form text with form controls. Yeah, I don't care about that. Inline text. Call auto, put password 6, call form label. Call auto, call password. Call auto, password help inline. Yeah. Disable, don't care. Don't care about field sets. Variables, blah, blah, blah. Form check input. Can't check this. Okay, so row G3, align item center. Password, okay. Form control, form label. Let's try applying those styles to these. Class equals form label. Class equals form control. Save this, come out here, and I want to refresh. Okay, it doesn't seem to have done anything for me yet. Do I go? I think I have to hot reload it. Or turn on hot reload or something like that. Hot reload on file save. That's still hideous. I mean, it works, but it's gross, and I don't like it. All right, the first thing I want to do, since those didn't do anything for me, I'm going to rip them out. Goodbye. Save all that. Let's add call MD4. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring these guys up, excuse me, so that they're in a row when we're at larger form factors. Save that, bring it up here, and let's make it wider. And that didn't do crap for us, so I'm going to have to refresh. And it still hasn't seemed to do anything for me. Come out to create NPC. I want to do something silly here. Style equals border one px solid black. Save. Oh, it didn't like that much at all, did it? No, sir. Okay, so there's no adding style tags to these components. Excuse me. Back that up. So what I'll do is I'll come in here to the Razor file, and I'll just wrap this whole thing in a div. Style equals border one px solid black. Cut. Come down to the end. Paste that there. Save it. Refresh. Oh, I screwed something up horribly. What did you do, Rob? Save it. Refresh. Oh, I broke something. I broke it good. I think I might have to restart the app. All right. Let's come in here. Hey, it worked, finally. All right. Let's get this working a little better. So, inside select NPC options, here's that stuff. Let's try putting these back in. Class equals form dash label. Class equals form dash control. And call access 3, call MD 12, call access 9, call MD 12. Save. So my theory here is that when we're extra small, our label is going to be tucked up onto the same line as our form control. And then when we're at wider screen sizes, it's going to fall up onto the top of it, which is ideally what I'd like to see. And let's refresh. I think I got to restart the app. Hot reload with Blazor doesn't always work real great, I have noticed. Sometimes it does, sometimes it just loses its little mind. So species random. Okay, not bad. Not in love with it. I'd like it to show a arrow button there. Where's get bootstrap? Let's see what it has to say about select lists. Custom select menus only need a custom class, .form select to trigger the custom styles. Okay, good. Select size equals 3, good. Okay, so we're going to add the .form select class to those. So let's close. Select. Good. Save. And I think these things need to go away. I'm going to get rid of those. Let's simplify what we're doing. I'm going to apply this form label and the form select, though, to these. Oh, stop it. Here we go. Save that. And I got to grab this. Paste it in here. And I'm going to come in here and paste that there. I don't know why it's indenting like that. Visual Studio gets silly sometimes. Okay, let's see what this does for us. All right, this is getting a little better. Quite like this. All right, good deal. Good deal. What happens when we smallify it? Okay. Okay. I'm going to get rid of that surrounding div right now. That can go away. And we'll get rid of this. Save it. Run it. See if that tidies things up at all. A little bit. Okay. I still want to get this label inlined when we're at the narrower form factor. And how does it look when we're at the wider form factor? All right. Let's do a quick Google. New tab, bootstrap grid. When XS form labels are inline, else form labels are above. Okay, I don't want to get into absolute positioning. That's bonkers. Inline form label, grid as the documentation suggests, set to like form control, blah, blah, blah. Input group. Okay, labels have to come outside the input group. That's fine. I don't want an input group then. And that's Bootstrap 4 anyway. Let's go back one. So this is Bootstrap, group classes to align levels and groups to form, blah, 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 blah. Checkbox inline, input type checkbox. I don't care about that. 4-column layout width. Form class equals form inline. That's not what I want. I wonder if form group. Let's try it. What the heck? Div class equals form group. What did I do? I goofed something up. That's okay. I'll just put it back. Div. Get rid of this weird little X. Bump these guys in. And that's the joy of CSS and UI work. It's so much FAFO. I still want that inline. Unless it's like that. I do not want to have to start messing with Flexbox. I feel like that form group didn't really do much for me. Input group, nope. Bootstrap input labels on the left rather than on top. Form container, form group, something. Here we go. Let's see what they say here. Go away, Stack Overflow. had the following. I feel like control label is not what I want. Is it control dash label? What year was this? That's 2017, so that's an ancient version of Bootstrap. You know what? Form label. Now, what happens if I go call MD 12, call access SM 3, and go call MD 12, call small 9. Just for laughs. Just purely for giggles. And science and all that stuff. I'm not going to trust hot reload. Still not doing it for me. And that just got truculent. That's not what I wanted to happen at all. I'm a silly goose. I am a very silly goose. Let's save this and add form dash. Gonna give me any IntelliSense? Nope. Group. Save it. Save it all. Hot reload. Reload. No. Let's just stop and restart it. And here you can see where when you're doing front end stuff, it's real easy to fall down a rabbit hole of fool around and find out and trying to get things to behave themselves and all that stuff. I feel like I want to wrap this in a collapse panel. Because that's going to have a really awful experience on mobile. It's going to look like butt. But we've got what we were looking for. Now I do want to add retired up in here somewhere. But for that I need a tri-state, because we can either have it checked or unchecked or even untouched. And if it's untouched, I want it randomized. If it's checked, yes, they're retired. If it's unchecked, they're not retired. But I need that third state that says maybe there's some, leave it up to chance. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more work in here, and I'm just gonna hack at this afternoon and get this looking all right, because I suspect that on a mobile experience it's gonna look like crap. Just before I drop for the day, I do want to add Blazor on Wi-Fi, localhost. Now that HTTPS. So launch settings for ASP. I'm gonna add a new window. Blazor launch settings. Listen on any IP, local IP address, specific port. And I know I looked this up a week or so ago. Configuration, set the URLs or hard code a URL. I'm not hard coding a URL to the application itself. Okay, so it's just a wildcard. So star : good. Because I do want to try and get this talking over the LAN again. I noticed that my laptop's IP address changed at some point. So these hard-coded thingies, I want to change those to this. Save. Now, will it run? There's no guarantee. And give me a command prompt. There's that. ipconfig. And my local IP address is 1.27. So just for goofing around. HTTPS / 192.168.1.27 port. Oh, what's the port? 7277? Go. And we'll see if that loads. It wouldn't load for me the other day. Let's come into NPC new. Halfling, criminal. Profession is currently a barkeep. Generate. Here we go. That wants to load. It's not doing okay though. It might come up, it might not. We'll see. All right, so things I want to get sorted out before tomorrow is I want to get the styling thing figured out so that when we're super narrow like this label pops down onto this line because this is taking up way too much vertical space. Yeah, the server stopped responding. It must be being a silly goose, or my firewall is being dumb. So like with this view, this is okay. With this view, it's not. And I think I want to have the generate button up inside here. Yeah. Yeah, I think I might rewire it so that the generate button is part of the selection stuff rather than owned by the create NPC page. Yeah. Yep. Oh, the 9 of 12, I'm giving the IP address out loud because 192.168 is a local area network only IP address. Nobody can hit that from the internet. There was another IP address on that console that would be public, but there's nothing actually on this machine that anybody can hit anyway. So let's see. We're going to bring the button up in with these controls. And I think I want it on the same line when we're in this view. Let's make that as big as it will go. Yeah, I kind of want generate up over to the right of the profession. Or perhaps not. But I definitely, whoops, that was an error. I grabbed the wrong window. But when we're squished up like this, those need to come down in line like that. And then the generate button can stay all the way across without trouble. All right, I'm going to do some styling in between now and tomorrow. Let's see if I can get this looking a little better by the time we reconvene. When we do get together tomorrow, we're going to revisit what happens when we hit the generate AI description button. And we're going to start bringing those aspects back into the application. And we'll hopefully have something that's a little less scrolly, a little bit friendlier by the time we're done, and looking a whole lot better. So until then, take care of yourselves. We did accomplish what we set out to do today. I should add a reset button. I guess it's easy enough to just come up here and reselect random. Yeah. Okay. I like that experience. That's fine. Yeah. So I've got some styling to do. I'm going to do that. We got these things selecting just fine. I'm going to try to figure out a nice way to indicate whether they should or should not be retired. And when we get back together tomorrow, we're going to bring back the AI description and work on a view transition so that when the description comes back, we're going to switch the way this looks and perhaps just have the end result of the AI description. Yeah. Okay. So until then, I'm that developer dad. Take notes about your thoughts. It's something I really ought to start doing more of. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Bye now.